Lesson 78, Rational Equations. At some point during this video, I'm going to tell you a special keyword. On Thursday's test, you can put in that keyword for one question, and I'll give you full credit for it. Let's review least common multiples. Least common multiple, remember, just like the name says, is the smallest number that you can multiply all the numbers of some given set up to. It has to contain all the prime factors of all the numbers, each raised to the highest power found in any of the original numbers. Let's look at an example. The least common multiple of 3, 4, and 6. We can find the least common multiple by rewriting each number as the product of primes. So 3 is prime, so we just write 3. 4 we can rewrite as 2 squared, and 6 rewrite as 2 times 3. Now, because we have 2 and 3 as the prime factors here, our least common multiple has to contain both 2 and 3. And we know that 2 has to be raised to the second power because it's raised to the second power here in 2 squared. 3, on the other hand, is only ever raised to the first power. So our least common multiple is 2 squared times 3, or 4 times 3, or 12. Solving rational equations. A rational equation is an equation in which some or all of the terms are fractions. Rational here referring to the fact that they have ratios, fractions in them. So y over 2 plus 1/4 equals y over 6 is an example. 3y over 2 plus 8 minus 4y over 7 equals 3 is another example. Remember that fractions with different denominators are not like terms. We can't combine these with each other because they're like terms. Y over 2 and y over 6 are not like terms. We're going to need to get rid of the denominator somehow. A useful way to do that is we multiply each term in the equation by the least common multiple of the denominators, and that'll let us eliminate those denominators, and then we can simplify and solve the equation. Let's look at an example. In this first problem, our denominators are 2, 4, and 6. The least common multiple of those is 12. So we'll multiply each term by 12. So y over 2 times 12 plus 1/4 times 12 equals y over 6 times 12. Now we're going to simplify. So we get 12y over 2, 12 over 4, and 12y over 6 simplifies to 6y plus 3 equals 2y. Then we'll subtract 2y from each side and subtract 3 from each side. So we get 4y equals -3, y equals -3/4. Another example. First, though, the secret keyword is trinomial. In this one, our denominators are 2, 7, and 1, because we can think of this as 3 over 1. Least common multiple of 2, 7, and 1 is 14, so we'll multiply each term by 14. Now, when we're multiplying these terms, these fractional terms, by the least common multiple, you could think of it as that least common multiple is 14 over 1, for example. So all we need to do really is multiply the top portion of each term by 14. So when we do 3y over 2 times 14, for example, we can write it as 14 times 3y on the top there. And then similarly for the second term, 8 minus 4y, 14 times that. Remember to keep this in parentheses because it's this thing, 8 minus 4y, that we're multiplying by 14. We don't just multiply the 8 by 14, but this whole thing, 8 minus 4y. And then again, 3 times 14 will give us 42. Now we can simplify. And here, notice, before we actually multiply those together, we can do some canceling out here. 14 divided by 2, we're going to get 7 there. 14 divided by 7, we'll get 2 there. And notice in both of these cases, because we multiplied by the least common multiple of those denominators, we'll always be able to get that denominator down to 1 to eliminate it when we cancel out here. So now we've got 7 times 3y, or 21y, plus 2 times 8 minus 4y is 42. We distribute 21y plus 16 minus 8y is 42. Combine like terms and move our constants over to the right side. We get 13y is 26, y is 2. One last example. Y plus 2 over 3 minus 5 over 2 equals 2y minus 4 over 8. So we've got the denominators 3, 2, and 8. The least common multiple is 24 because we have 2 and 3, so we're going to need both of those in there. And 8 is 2 cubed, so we're going to need to have 2 cubed represented and also 3. 2 cubed times 3 is 24. We'll multiply each term by 24. And here, notice I just went right to multiplying the top of each of these fractions by 24. So 24 times y plus 2, again, putting those parentheses there, because that whole thing needs to get multiplied by 24. 24 times 5, and 24 times 2y over 4, again, using the parentheses. Then we can simplify, so 24 divided by 3 will give us 8, 24 divided by 2 will give us 12, and 24 divided by 8 will give us 3. 8 times y plus 2 minus 12 times 5 equals 3 times 2y minus 4. Distribute 8y plus 16 minus 12 times 5 is 60, and then we get 6y minus 12 here. Combine like terms, move the variables to the left and the constants to the right, and then divide. We get y is equal to 16.